Somehow, despite being on a book buying ban for 2 months and 4 days, I have the miniest of mini book hauls. Greetings, royalty. My name is Olivia, and welcome back to my realm. So today is kind of a different video for me, and that's because this was supposed to be me giving my February book buying / no buy update. But seeing as I haven't posted my January one, I wanted to talk about an aspect of my book buying ban / no buy that I thought would be much harder, but has ended up being much easier. And so this, in a way, is kind of tips and tricks if you're going to embark on a book buying ban. So as you can see, I have a new book for my collection, and that is the Iron Garden Sutra by A.D. Sue. Thank you so much to the publisher for sending me a copy because I actually won a Goodreads giveaway. Yes, I have never, ever, since elementary school maybe, won a giveaway. In a legit one, not one like organized by the school or something like that. Like legitimately, I just went into a sweepstakes and got a free book. And it really got me thinking about why my book buying ban for a year, which is what I'm doing for 2026, other than one exception that I talk about in the video I will link above and in the description, I have been acing this book buying ban. It's been going so easy, whereas other aspects of my no buy that I thought would be easier have been way harder. And if you can't see from all these books just in this frame, and that's not the other bookshelves in this hobby room, I have a ton of books. My personal library is somewhere in the 700s, I believe. And so you would think someone like me who buys books all the time would have a really hard time going cold turkey. But I found it's actually been the opposite. The first reason that my book buying ban has actually gone much smoother than I thought it would go is because I have a Kobo Libra color to be exact. And one of my favorite things to read is comics, yes, but I just read straight up novels as well. And so not only the novelty of having an e-reader, I've been a lifelong reader, but have never owned an e-reader and never had any interest in owning an e-reader pre-color technology because I was just like, I'll just go pick up the book. I never actually got the appeal, even when I would hold them, they just weren't for me. And then this particular color e-reader came out, was the buttons, was the Kobo interface, it just hit. And I can see why. I think this is the second best-selling e-reader on the market, right behind the Amazon Kindle. And I don't think that is a mistake, given that when I first heard about e-readers, things like the Barnes & Noble Nook were still really popular. Something about the Kobo Libra color just hit. And for me, the color aspect is a big part of that. And so, like I said, not only the novelty, but just having an e-reader, going through my digital library has really made me see I have more than enough books to read for several lifetimes. Like if I don't start purging my digital library at the very least, my physical TBR is probably somewhere in the 300s, maybe a little bit more than that. I know my manga collection, I'm looking at it right now, is like close to 90% read. I would think so right now, where my book collection isn't as read. But either way, it's in the hundreds, right? So TBR in the hundreds is already going to take a significant amount of time. My digital collection is in the literal thousands. And that's just books I borrowed on Kobo Plus. And to give you proof so you know I'm not lying, right here you see Kobo Plus, 2,514 books. So it's really just woken me up to the fact that I don't need more books because I have more than enough. The second reason my no buy has gone a lot smoother than I thought it would be when it comes to my book buying ban is the fact that I have gone to the library even more than I usually do. Now, my library now is considered a rural library still, but it moved into a much bigger space, and I've been doing solo dates there, reading at the library, and it's just been so fun. And the other great aspect is that it's free. Now, not technically free because we pay for it with our taxes, but you get what I mean. For the general thought process of what a free thing is. I don't have to pay money when I go and take books from them. And the limit is something like 50 items. So 50 books or 25 books and, you know, whatever amount of games and movies, etc. I do have a DVD player / I believe it's also a Blu-ray player, but I typically go towards the books. But if I wanted to, I could get way more things than that. And so having access to a well-stocked library, I would say now, especially that it's moved into a bigger space, I've once again come to the realization newer titles that aren't on Kobo Plus, titles that I just can't really get for free, I typically can get for free at my local library. So that's made it really easy. And the third reason that my book buying ban has gone amazing, even though I've collected now, I believe 4 books between January 1st and now. And if you haven't watched my other mini book haul, that is going to explain how I had more books even though I didn't buy them. But the other aspect to just focus on this video is the fact that I have been really focusing on art copies and giveaways. Basically, books that you get for free but aren't free books. They are books that are given in the hopes that you leave a review. And as someone that is an author who is also a publisher, a self-publisher, and is also soon to be a bookseller, I really understand the value of readers' copies. I understand why it's so important, if you can, to leave reviews on art copies. I didn't understand that when I first started getting ARCs and acquired like something like 200 ARCs on like NetGalley and sites like that and just read pretty flippantly. But as I've come to realize how significant it is to be shipped a physical book, to even be sent an ebook by an indie author, just hoping for those good reviews on release day, it's really hit me that that is another way that I can read, stay on top of new releases, stay on top of releases like indie releases that aren't going to be at my library, that might not be on Kobo because they might be in Kindle Unlimited. ARC reading and entering giveaways for books that I'm interested in is a way that not only I give back to the bookish community, but I can safely add more books to my shelves. Now, the final kind of advice I would say in this mini haul / bookish book buying ban advice, I would say really know your why, right? I know that's very corporate speak nowadays, but it is true. You really do need to know your why for doing something. And for me, my why was not that I wanted to stop buying books just because I wanted to read my TBR. I wanted to stop buying books because I had a financial goal. I want to pay off all of my debt sans my house in the next 2 to 3 years. That is a very ambitious goal. I want to open a bookstore, become a paid YouTuber versus just a YouTuber who does it for the love of the game, and so many other things. And to hit those goals, I needed to free up some of my money, some of my resources, and that meant going on a book buying ban, because even though I would reckon my novel collection is anywhere from 30 to 40% used. I would be shocked if it's lower than 40%. Even though it was used, a $5 book is still $5 I could put towards debt or put towards building my dream life. And so knowing that my why wasn't to shrink my library or never buy a book again, it's really helped me to clarify how I can stop myself from buying books, which means getting more books. If that means getting them free, or if that means renting them out through Kobo Plus or through the library, or if I get another book subscription. Either way, it helps me scratch the itch without breaking my pocket. And with that said, I am just super happy to have achieved 2 months and 4 days of a book buying ban, despite acquiring more books. Well, with that said, Royalty, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm on a mad dash to post 100 videos in 100 days. So if you are just a citizen, you're just a visitor to my realm, I would love if you like and subscribe. That way you can see more bookish lifestyle content like this. And seeing as my dog is freaking out, we're going to end the video. I'll see you tomorrow, Royalty, as well as distinguished guests and citizens. Until then, bye!